degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
You're good at basement basketball.
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Mortgage Group. I've been teaching here at Guerin Catholic for 13 years. I've been assistant coach also for 13 years. And I think it's important in today's world that we have young people growing up with the morals and values of faith-based education.
Hello, I'm Dwayne Thompson with Integrity Mortgage Group, and I support Guerin Catholic High School because I'm good friends and business partners with assistant coach Tommy Mascari. And any chance I have to support a Christ-centered education for today's youth, I take advantage of that opportunity and support in any way I can with my time, effort, volunteering, funds, and commercials like these.
Together we soar.
Guerin Catholic Sports on IndianaSRN,
where you're always in the game.
Welcome to Heritage Christian High School. Alongside Craig Cox, I'm Joey Lindstrom. This is a presentation of high school basketball on IndianaSRN in conjunction with our sponsors, Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. Bertner Electric, your licensed and experienced electrician serving Central Indiana. IU Sports Management, a lifetime of sport with a winning degree. Piper Logistics, 3 services, 1 logistical solution. And finally, Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown farm equipment dealer. Joey Lindstrom alongside Craig Cox. And Craig, these are 2 teams with the exact same record, standing both at 7-10 in the Circle City. Roncalli is first in the conference right now. And Heritage Christian, having only played 2 home games this year, can't really tell if they have a home court advantage, but they're looking to compound on that tonight. What are both teams looking for as they search for a W tonight?
Well, I think any time that you can get, as you inch a little bit closer to sectional play, you add another layer to that in being just a conference game as well. They're playing for a little something different. Obviously, with the Eagles from Heritage, they're going to look to try to find a little bit more balance between the up-tempo game and the half court, where I think Roncalli is going to try to hit you a little bit more with the half court and try to neutralize each other from that respect. But, we got 2 really good, solid teams that have good, long-standing programs in years past. You got one side with the Royals and Coach Wantz, who's been around for 20 years, has had about 16, 17 winning seasons in a row. The last couple have been down a few, and so trying to break that stride. And then on the other side with Warren Wallace in his second year, got a special dynamic player in Purdue commit junior Miles Colvin. So interesting matchup, and like we said, with it being a conference game, we're excited to bring it to you here.
We're going to get Craig's keys to both sides after we take a break here. You're watching boys basketball on IndianaSRN. Welcome back to Heritage Christian High School. The Roncalli Royals and the Heritage Christian Eagles are set to square off. We're going to dive in first into this Royal squad, coached by Michael Wantz in his 20th season, as Craig mentioned. And they are in Sectional 11 right now. They lead all records in Sectional 11 at 2-0. They're 4-8 in Class 2A. So, Craig, when we look at this squad, you have Michael Wantz. You mentioned his experience. They're first in Circle City, first in the sectional, but they stand at 7-10. They've been able to get key wins. They beat Chittard. They've beaten Ritter. This is a squad that really does show up when the stage is bright.
No, it is, and I think a very quality win. I mean, Chittard just here, 2 weeks ago was undefeated and has had a couple losses since then. But what a great win that was for them and their program, especially as we talked about in opening segment in terms of heading towards sectional play. So this is when you want to play your best ball, regardless of who you are. You want to just get to the place where you're playing your best ball in February to get you prepared for sectional.
Roncalli leads this all-time series 4-2. Now they run the basketball through Kegris, and he's just such a monster when it comes to just to playing in general, right? And how do they utilize him? How do they help get him open to make such a difference?
Well, I think that a lot of it's going to be anytime that you're that guy, you're going to be keyed on defensively. So I think a lot of what stands the test of time with any player as such is what is the activity off the ball. There's so many times, we look for those guys to do things when the ball's in their hands. But what are they doing to get open off the ball? What are they doing to allow their teammates to get open off the ball as well and making those around him better? And Luke's a kid that does that. He's just a junior, 6'4", more of a long, lean guy type of guy. But he's a guy that can hit you from inside and outside, and one that you certainly got to be prepared for.
Excellent soccer player as well. He averages on the court 14 points a game, 5 rebounds a game. Leads the team in points, and he shoots 41% from the field. He's also pretty much automatic when it comes to the free throw line, shooting at 89%. Now let's talk about this Heritage Christian Eagles squad. Warren Wallace in his second year, and they're in Class 2A. He's 18-19 overall, and 11-9 last year. They lost in the sectional second round to Covenant Christian, and they've been shooting 48% on the season. They run the ball. They run their offense through Miles Colvin, and he's the type of guy you mentioned, Purdue commit. When you have a guy like that, it's hard not to try to push the ball to him all the time, and he's the perennial powerhouse of this squad, but he has to utilize his teammates as well.
He does, and just like we talked about with Luke for the Royals on the Roncalli side, good players make players around them better. And so, how you play off of them, how you get them open, how you get them set up to do other things. He's probably, in Colvin, he's probably one of the more dynamic open court players in our city. He's almost like a Jaden Ivey type, if you will. But he's one. But there's still a good support cast. They got some good length. Dylan Doss is the point guard, so some really good leadership. We've had the opportunity to have a few of Heritage games this year. Macklemore's another one that gives them some length. Andrew Wiggins has started some games coming off the bench in others, and he's another one that's about 6'4", more of a Husky-built guy. They're a good balanced team in terms of tempo.
Right now, as sectional 42 stands, University High in Carmel is ranked number 1 with a 4-0 record in sectional play. Park Tudor is 2-0 in sectional play. Coming to Christian 3-1, and Heritage sits in 4th at 1-3. One thing that we did want to highlight, you can't really tell if they have home court advantage. They've only played 2 games at home, which is astounding.
Yeah.
You wonder if that has to do with some of those contracts, that maybe they're playing some new teams, and that's part of their situation where they always have to go on the road. But they've also played 5 or more neutral site games. I'll have to confirm that, but it's amazing, probably indicative of the way that they play aggressively, right? And they've had some tough games and tough opponents. In reality, this is a squad that really hasn't gotten comfortable at home, and frankly, feels like maybe this is sort of an away game in a way. They have something to prove.
Yeah, no, I mean, without question, Joey, I think the neat thing about this is they're probably just glad to see their own gym again.
Yeah.
It is very odd, as you mentioned, very different. But you know what? That those types of things can help prepare a team Obviously, their sectional will be in a neutral site, away from their gym in itself, and so they're prepared there. And I'll tell you, I mean, sectional 42 that they're in arguably is the best 2A sectional in the Indy metro area when you have not only themselves, but you got University, Park Tudor, Covenant. Park Tudor's just coming off a great win against Brebeuf. So, I mean, that sectional is really loaded for the 2A level. Anticipating a really solid game here tonight.
The starters for Heritage Christian as follows: Dylan Doss, number 3. He'll be at point guard. Number 10, Nolan Duncan. Number 11, Miles Colvin. Number 23, Lewis Staten. And number 34, Mason Kay. On the Roncalli side, of course, number 11, Luke Kegris. Number 12, Caden Gore. Number 23, Nolan Tunney. Number 30, Alex Mole. And number 33, Aiden Leffler. Again, Roncalli Royals are coached by Michael Wantz, and Heritage coached by Warren Wallace. We're going to step away for the national anthem. You're watching boys basketball on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Welcome back to Heritage Christian High School. Joey Lindstrom alongside Craig Cox. We have for you a treat. Roncalli High School Royals visiting the Heritage Christian Eagles. And Craig, both these teams play a little bit faster than the average Bear. How do you expect both of them to come out? Is it more of a press style? Is it more just try to push the pace and try to get maybe just to get muddled, not try to be sloppy?
Well, I think the comfort that you get in that is on the offensive side.
Yeah.
The side that you have to do, I mean, in terms of not allowing the defense to hurry you into situations when the numbers aren't there to complete transitions. So I think the ability of either team, that becomes key, is who has the ability to recognize where the break's there with the numbers and when it's not, to be able to back it out and work the extra pass to break your defensive team down.
Roncalli leads the all-time series 4 wins to 2. They'll be wearing the blue and red going right to left. Heritage will sport the white and blue headed left to right. Thanks so much for being with us. Our first half brought to you by Serenity Care Services, an Indiana licensed service agency, a friendly, experienced team of caregivers you've been seeking. Call Angela today, 317-900-6202. On the tip, Heritage will start us off. This team averages more than 49 points per game. And they're a squad that needs to score early and often. Playing just their third home game of the year. Here's Miles Colvin in the corner.
You'll see a lot of similarities in two. I mean, Roncalli's averaging 51 a game, so they're right neck and neck. Roncalli's been a little bit better of the rebounding as far as team rebounding, and you'll typically have them sharing the ball a bit more than what Heritage has.
Colvin, baseline jumper. He gets started early with a nice finish there.
Well, what you would expect there, and that's the thing that Miles has really done over the last year, is really improve his outside shooting.
Inside that free throw line, that was Kagris. He was trying to answer Colvin's original shot.
You'll find, again, both these teams running a lot through those two, and we talked about it in the opening segment as well, how well both these teams will do in terms of the supporting cast. Miles has been a little bit bigger of a scorer than Luke has for the respective teams, but both of them play a special part, obviously, on both sides.
And they're going to be integral in their team's victory for either side. Both these teams have the same record, 7-10. Roncalli is the nod, though, 3-0 in the Circle City. Heritage is 3-2. Kagris outside. Out the front iron, rebound by Nolan Duncan.
And it'll be key, really, for Roncalli, too, to always be releasing guys to really minimize the type of open court play that Colvin looks as he hits, another jumper here.
From the elbow, Miles Colvin, he's got 4 already.
Well, and you get your big guy out early like this, especially from the shooting standpoint, really opens things up and just builds the confidence early on.
Heritage in that muddled full court press for the initial inbounder.
Yeah, and you got Heritage here trying to spread you out, playing this 3-2 zone as we get a 3 look here, coming up a little bit short.
Alex Mole on that attempt. Trying to drive to the lane. Good defensive effort. This is going to be a jump ball.
Yeah, it's really key when you're playing against the zone, really trying to work the high-low. Really want to try to work a guy right in the keyhole to be able to get positions stepping out, really facing up, and getting dives low or kicking corners.
Good effort by Aiden Leffler. He's going to go ahead and take a 3. That one's long. Get their own rebound. Royal squad, nothing on the scoreboard to show yet. 0-4 from the field.
Here, Eagles just trying to extend you. Becomes a little bit tougher for an offense to be able to start any of their basic sets being that high, which is what Heritage or any team's trying to do here, where it exposes really the middle. Roncalli really needs to work more of the middle of the floor here.
They're choosing not to listen to you, Craig. Shooting from the outside. They're 32% on the year. They're 0 for 4 from deep. Colvin, deep drive to the hole. And he'll go to the line to shoot an extra.
And that's the thing with just the ability with a good framed kid like Miles is. He's 6'5", as they have him listed, and good frame to himself, but the athleticism that goes with it. Is finishing well, but the great thing that he's really developed in his just few years playing now at Heritage has been the ability to play through contact as he converts the three-point play.
First time out of the game. Roncalli's coach, Michael Wantz, needs to get his squad together. They're 0 from deep so far. We're brought to you by the IHSAA Foundation. Subscribe to our newsletter, The Advocate, at IHSAAfoundation.org. Thanks to the IHSAA Foundation for what they're doing for our student athletes. We're also brought to you by Family Source Insurance. We have you covered. Auto, home, life, or business. Call Pat Cherry to get a quote today. 317-884-8046. Look to Family Source Insurance for all your needs. Email as well. FamilySourceInsurance.com. So Roncalli takes their first timeout. And we're back on the floor. Nobody home on that inbound pass. It looked like Alex Moll was trying to set a pick for his other teammate, Kegris, to try to get open.
Well, and those are tough types of situations, not only to happen, but to happen right after a timeout.
Yeah.
Those are types of things that'll really have a coach spinning his wheels.
I was going to say, you were a coach, and I'm sure that there was times maybe where there was a mistake made after you guys drew up a play.
Sure.
How'd you react in those situations?
Well, this is one thing, you got to move on to the next possession, but It's kind of like put the head in the hands and just kind of move forward. But certainly they'll get you, especially after you just have some redirection from a timeout.
Skying to get that rebound. Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, I was going to say it looked like Wiggins had checked in the game, and some of you might recognize that last name. His sister is a freshman at Michigan.
Yep.
She was an Indiana All-Star last year.
She was so fun to watch. What a block. Nolan Duncan. Here comes Colvin on the opposite end. Floater. That one's short. Rebound by Kegris.
Well, and Miles did a great job getting, finding the seam, getting downhill, but then kind of finished away from the basket as opposed to getting to it.
Outside, Alex Moll. Well, this Roncalli squad trying to find some semblance of offense. Over 4 minutes have passed, and they're scoreless.
Well, and they've jumped out of this zone and now just getting more ball presence and see if Roncalli can get something going. I mean, just like anything on any defense, ball movement, player movement are the things that neutralize that as we get some nice kick here for a three.
That one rims out, unkind to Nolan Tunney.
Yeah, I tell you, traveling from the south side to the north side hasn't been too favorable for him yet as we get a foul drawn here by Duncan. And so he'll go to the line for 2 shots.
Nolan Duncan, opportunistic. I think he saw his lane. Not usually his game to try to slash to the basket. He's more of that utilitarian guy who wants everybody to have the ball. He wants to get it moving.
Yeah,
good take.
Great point there. He's one that works the block and has some good interior passing as well. Another good framed kid. That's one thing with Coach Wallace, that they do have some decent size and length to him.
Well, he knocks down both free throws. Heritage has a 9-0 lead here. 5 minutes in.
Again, want to try to get the player movement, ball movement, something going for the Royals as they get another turnover here. Finding it hard for them to right now to get in sync. And situations like this as a coach and even as a player, but more so as a coach, just trying to keep your kids encouraged, stay the course, stay to what the game plan is. Things will start happening, but certainly not the start that Coach wants. Certainly wanted to see in his players here tonight.
Cannot get too down and out. Duncan fumbling that one and recovering. Swing pass. Dylan Doss trying to drive and find some space.
Good patience here by the Eagles. Hadn't seen anything yet. Keep the floor spread. Just trying to get some reset here.
Up to Allmeyer. He's going to drive to the lane. That one got partially blocked, I think, by Moll. Back up top.
It's that good ball presence here, good closing out. Heritage has done a really good job in just having some ball presence. Here we're seeing some switching going on.
Ton of movement by Roncalli as well as another three can't find its way home, and turnover immediately by Heritage Christian.
Yeah, really, decision there. You'd like for Miles to either, if he's not attacking there, it was a tough seam to try to make that pass happen and dribbling that back out if he wasn't going to finish at the basket. We talked about in the opening segment too is Heritage is going to have some good ball presence and trying to usher you in to some turnovers, trying to get you to hurry. When you're in these types of situations, you don't want to reach, just want to kind of guard your yard, maintain some containment to the ball and stay in front of your man here as Doss gets a deflection from behind.
Yeah, that was a nice poke by Doss. He's the type of player that just seems so jumpy, like a little water bug around there.
He has a lot of energy, and I'll tell you, he's a kid too that has a really good assist to turnover ratio.
Deep three.
There we
Finally,
go.
Roncalli on the board. Alex Moll.
That's something that they needed. I mean, it's one of those things now. I mean, you hit that one shot, still a 2-possession game, as bleak as it looked here in the first quarter.
I beg your pardon. That was Nicholas Stewart. Up top, here's Doss. We'll see if that kind of triggers Roncalli into a little bit more of an aggressive approach, Craig. Nice take by Doss. Holy cow. Up and in.
Yeah, really good job of seeing the seam, getting downhill. Kind of had his guy attack that high hip and kind of got the little dipsy-do working there. Good spin control.
Saw his opportunity and made the most of it. Here's Kegris. Working against Duncan. Good defense by Heritage. Deep three. That one off the front iron.
Yeah, I really like to see the Royals get in a place where they're attacking more of the seam to have the next guy guard you, the next layer of defense. Try to get some help. If not, you're going to continue to attack downhill. But I think right now there's just too much work around the perimeter, and they're not getting better shots. It's more just trimming the edge around the perimeter.
15 to go here in our first quarter. A lot of action from this Heritage Christian squad. Here's a steal. On the prowl and finishing for Roncalli. That was Nolan Tunney.
Yeah. Tell you, it's kind of hard to see the numbers on these dark jerseys with dark numbers too.
Red on blue.
Yeah, we'll do our best to bring it to you, though.
Well, so far in the first quarter, it's been the blue of Heritage Christian on the red of Roncalli. 11-5 after one. Don't go anywhere. You're watching boys basketball on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to Heritage Christian. After one, the Eagles lead the Royals of Roncalli 11-5, large in part due to 6 points in that first quarter from Miles Colvin, 2 from Nolan Duncan, and 2 from Dylan Doss. I'm missing an and 1 there, but regardless, Heritage Christian is was just on fire in the beginning of the game. Roncalli took all of 6 minutes to finally get their first basket, and since had a fast break opportunity go their way as well. Starting with a bit of a mock trap there.
Yeah, I like certainly some movement here off the ball. We talked about earlier too. Anytime neutralizer was get a pass deflected here as the Royals on the transition.
Stolen there off the slippery fingers from Andrew Wiggins by Nicholas Stewart. It's the one who knocked down the opening 3 to get Roncalli on the board.
Yeah, I would just like to be able to see the Royals be a little bit more assertive in terms of attacking these gaps.
That foul on Austin Snively. Roncalli working. That's Nolan Tunney. Dishes it inside. Nice work by Tunney off the give and go.
Yeah, and as we talked earlier too, they're in a position, 2-possession game. Took them a while to kind of get the gears going, but they've settled down a bit, and a few baskets will do that to you. Looks like they haven't put that last basket on. Oh, there it goes.
Stolen away. Now within 4. Down low, reverse lay-in is good.
Yeah, really tough move there. Good body control, good use of the baseline. Defender for Eagles didn't do a good job in terms of closing out that baseline, not giving him room when you allow him that. There's just no help side on the back.
Caden Gore on that layup. Outside, Doss. 3 rims out. Good rebound by Snively. He tries to go back up. Gets his own rebound again, and a third try works.
Really good job there by Austin in terms of continuing to fight there. Those are the baskets that you need in terms of just doing the intangibles and getting putbacks.
Kegris back outside and inside. A lot of ball movement from Roncalli. I like what I'm seeing out of this Royal squad.
Yeah, and that you do. That's a great point, Joey, in terms of the ball movement and shifting the defense, getting those rotations when they're expecting you to take those shots. But good action there by the Royals.
A lot of good action up and over. That's Miles Colvin. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Yeah, and that's
actually going to have this be an inbound.
That's the thing with Colvin in terms of in transition. You got to get him early. If you're letting him get too much downhill and you're picking him up too close, he's just created too much momentum with a good athlete as such. And he's either going to make one of 2 things happen, and that is score the basket, and if not, be at the foul line.
Here again is Colvin. Not a ton of foul action. Baseline jumper. Short. Swung out again. Mason K from deep. Back iron. Lofted that rebound and stolen up by Kegris. And that's going to be a foul on the floor by Jonathan Dorsch. Entering the game now, Jack Moore for Roncalli. Jack averages about 5 points per game off the bench normally. This foul is going to be on Mason K off the ball.
And these types of fouls are tough. I mean, the ball is not even inbounds yet, and so a little anxious there, and to some degree of credit for the Eagles trying to take cuts away, but just got to be a lot more proactive as they're doing a good job here. Get the ball inbounds.
Someone who's been quiet so far is the man with the ball in his hand, Kegris.
Yeah, he is.
Luke is averaging just under 14 points a game, but he's been held scoreless off of 2 missed shots.
Yeah, and really good job there by Horn getting downhill. It's what we talked about earlier in terms of finding that gap, getting downhill, and making that next line of defense get you kind of asserting himself in that presence and picking up a team foul.
3 quick fouls for Heritage Christian. Normally a very disciplined team on defense. We've seen that so far. Dumping inside, back out. Kegris from deep. Rebound by Dorsch. Snively's going to take it now. Man-to-man look from Roncalli. Some come out in a bit of that muddled zone, now in man. And that's going to be an off-ball foul, offensive foul, in fact, on Nolan Turner. So racking up the fouls quickly is Heritage.
Yeah, and obviously they're trying to do what they can to get some things more going for Miles and running off the ball. Just got caught being a little bit over-aggressive in setting that screen.
And you can get caught, too, if you want to be an enforcer out there. Unfortunately, you got to be just slightly careful. Wonder what this call might be. Thought it might be a travel.
Yeah, that is a good call.
Yep, Gabe Horn, who had the basket earlier, nice reverse layup.
Yeah, like the point of attack, but I think that he's got to do a little better job, maybe coming to a jump stop there and maybe getting his little 8-10 foot pull up, but just almost kind of maybe over penetrated.
Well, 13-9. Roncalli been in a 9-4 run ever since about 2 minutes to go in that first quarter.
Well, and you had, Colvin came out really quick in the game, scored 7 quick points with an and one. And since then, the Royals have done a really good job of containing him. not only when he has the ball, but even when he's done his work off the ball. Have been doing a really good job. And I think if you're in a position, even though he has some support cast, but if you can put yourself in a position where you're keeping him, under that 16 points, you stand a pretty good chance with that, because they run so much through him, and the Royals have done a good job off the ball staying in help side.
We talked about coaches taking a deliberate timeout to try to kind of just reset the momentum.
Yeah.
And Roncalli came out and immediately turned the ball over. I think that play might have woken him up a little bit.
Yeah,
since then they've kind of played some lockdown defense.
They have. They've done a good job since.
Trying to drive to the lane. That one's tipped up in the air. Dylan Doss is going to be the benefactor of that little team block. Now he's stuck. Needs to throw it back out. Good save. Wow. To keep that ball on the offensive side, Tyler Allemeyer.
Yeah, good. Nice job there, going up strong
by
Duncan. Yeah, really good job. You get that high, is really getting to a jump stop, kind of getting a power dribble and going up strong using his body.
Special move down there in the low post.
That's where you got to get downhill and just not getting deep enough. There he did, getting in the crease, making the help side come. But how your guys play off the ball, off penetration, is key to that, where we have Colvin here, which is what he likes, is the open court game, but couldn't get it to come. But yeah, getting in a position where you can find that seam and making that help side happen.
Well, Coach Wantz is going to take a timeout here, and so will we. Do not go anywhere. This game's just getting started. Roncalli and Heritage after the break.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
Welcome back to Heritage Christian. Take a moment to remind you we're brought to you by IHSAA officials. Get involved in the game. Become an IHSAA official by contacting Sandra Walter at ihsaa.org/officials today. Stay in shape and make some extra money. Training classes are starting for the spring season now. Contact Sandra 317-846-6601. Also brought to you by Basketball Weekly, an in-depth look at Indiana high school basketball with Troy D. and Coach. Every Monday on IndianaSRN.org and the sports page. Guests, upcoming schedules, and much more. Check out Basketball Weekly. Roncalli needs a little bit of juice here in these last 2 minutes. Headed up top, Nolan Tunney. Now here's Caden Gore driving to the hoop. He's going to get 2.
Yeah, really good job there, turning the corner. Good patience by the Royals there, too. That's what I was going to say in terms of not having that defense hurry you up. Play for the higher percentage shots, how you're going to get back into this game.
Driving to the hoop, Doss, and an and one opportunity.
Yeah, really good job with the jump stop, good body control, kind of off balance, if you will. Good athletic young man right here, and trying to convert the 3-point play the old school way.
The old school way. Dylan Doss, a junior, 5'10". Attributes a lot of his game to those quick, stuttery NBA point guards that we know and love. And he plays defense like it, too. Cashes that and one opportunity.
I don't think they're giving the scoreboard seems to be laid quite a bit. I don't think that they put the points on the board. Did they? There they go. I was going to say it. It's like the third time it's kind of thrown me for a loop thinking of the bigger ones. But good job here by the Eagles of getting this back up, where Roncalli really needs to focus on, keeping this within a 5-point game by half, as we got a little hustle play and ended up in a jump ball.
Yeah, Doss got a little bit tied up there. He's trying to spin to the basket. Interesting call for a jump ball. 1:20 to go here in the first half.
I think Coach wants his, piece is to say, let's get to halftime, keep it within a 5-point game, as we just indicated. And, I don't know that you probably couldn't play that much less over the last probably 2 or 3 minutes. They played better, but that first quarter was pretty rough on them. Got 2 more quarters to play after we exhaust this minute.
Looking for Luke Kegris here to start making the impact that he's known for, and Heritage has really just kind of locked him up so far with Miles Colvin. Now here he is, 11 on 11. Outside, here's Mole. Shot fake from Leffler. He's looking for some room. Down low, back to Tunney. Tunney, try to reverse around that block. Good defense from Heritage once again.
Yeah, it was. Great team effort right there. Did a great job with ball presence, staying in the gaps with help side, and not getting in a place where they just committed an unnecessary foul.
There's Allmeyer working against Tunney. Back out to Doss, and they're going to hold for the last shot.
Yeah, much like in the first quarter, did the same with about 20 seconds to go.
Working against Kegris. Out to Doss for 3 to finish the half. It does drop.
Haven't had too many home games, but he sure got the home court bounce there.
Kind of feels that way for Heritage Christian. The home court advantage is in the air tonight. They lead 21-11. Large in part due to the efforts of Dylan Doss and Miles Colvin. Dylan ends up with 8 and Miles with 7. Craig, your impressions of that first half?
Well, I think as we talked about, Heritage got off to a quick start. Roncalli did exactly the opposite. I think they settled down a bit, and then Heritage over the last 2 minutes did a really good job putting themselves in a position to grow that lead back to what they had it earlier on.
Both these teams had the same record. Roncalli has better wins than Heritage has had through this year, but right now, Heritage with the nod after 1. Join us after our halftime show here on IndianaSRN. We'll be right back.
Today, greed, selfish interest, and barefaced corruption seem all the fashion. America needs great men of tolerance who can give honest debate to the great issues of the day. I'm seeing mostly squabbling, men squandering their time, being wolves to one another. Yet, I'm not without hope. We still have Freemasonry. Yes, the same Freemasons that helped create this country have always provided great men when needed. And today, in every city and town in America, Freemasonry is still providing that special place where young men can find their greatness and accomplished men can give something back. Yes, in this time of great hope, it is my hope that America will see that Freemasonry is a national treasure that cannot be separated from our country's future.
I am Heritage.
Heritage Christian. We are Heritage.
I am Heritage.
We are Heritage.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
When is sectional draw?
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Heritage Christian leads 21-11 after the first half, large in part due to the efforts of point guard Dylan Doss and shooting guard Miles Colvin. Doss had 8 points, Colvin had 7. And after one half, Roncalli, after beating Chittard, has maybe had a little bit of a hangover, Craig Cox. And I think that is in large part due to the fact that they just haven't been able to get anything going beyond the arc like they're used to.
Well, and sometimes that can be typical. We see it a lot at the collegiate level, and certainly you're going to see it a lot even at the high school level when you come off a very emotional high win and one that's a big rivalry with Chittard and Roncalli. Right. But I think at the same time, it started off, very south for them. They couldn't get anything to drop, couldn't score their first point until 6 minutes into the game. So, it took a while for them to get some momentum going. But I think what they've done well is they haven't let the game get away from them. Neither of these teams are going to put up a lot of points. They're averaging 51 and 49 between the two of them, but scoring is down a bit. And so, as much as that's been tough for them, I think they've done a good job in keeping Colvin in check. They got 20 points, and so they're in a position that they could still leave this game tonight with a bad start and leave them with a win.
Yeah, you ought to be happy only being down by 10 with sort of the bad start, right? I mean, that's definitely indicative of that first half, but it is basketball is always a game of two, is always a tale of two halves, if you will.
No,
on the Heritage Christian side, you have 21 points already. You had Miles Colvin going earlier, and he's since slowed down, but their defense has been really the story. That's been left a big impression on me so far.
It has, and the thing that they've done well is they've cut and almost eliminated almost all their transition points. I can only remember Miles's and one that he got early in the first quarter was really one of the only true transition points that they had, and I think that's one thing you got to do to neutralize them and keeping them in a half-court game. And I really don't look for the Royals to shoot as poorly as they did in the first half. I think it'll pick up a bit. Be interesting to see how the two key players, Kagaris went scoreless, and he's a kid that averages 14. So look for him to do a little bit more this half, and then we'll see how Colvin might be able to pick up. But if they can keep him down in terms of his productivity, this could really come down in the fourth quarter to being a game that could go either way.
Coach Warren Wallace getting his guys ready to go. And unfortunately, kids will be kids.
Yeah, you got M&Ms, nacho cheese, a little bit of this and that. Nothing like, though, when you can have these youngsters at games and going to and from the concession stand. A little different dynamic than football season, but it's always great to see the youngsters out and what looks to be future Eagles here at this level. And can think back to when, you're in the second, third grade and looking at these varsity players as just role models in one day, these kids. But whether it's Skittles or M&Ms, we're getting ready to bring you the second half of basketball here.
There we are. You wonder how it happened to her. I wish we caught it on camera. Did Mom get upset, or was it more of laugh it off?
Right, yeah.
The M&Ms are on the ground. There's a guy sweeping it right under the bleachers. This is full class service. So actually Heritage is going to start out with the basketball. They're moving right to left in the second half, switching sides. And Dylan Doss will get us going here from the inbound pass of Andrew Wiggins. By the way, if you missed our first half and if you want to go look back to watch the full game, you can catch all that on IndianaSRN.org or our YouTube page. Just search IndianaSRN in your search bar. Here's Nolan Duncan driving to the hoop. Stops himself to dish back out to Doss.
A great thing with both these teams, you just have immediate presence on the ball, whether that's on the ball or whether that's from the help side. Both teams do a really good job of closing out when their player catches it. That's what I was saying at the top of the hour is what you do off the ball is going to be key for either of these teams tonight, with Doss opening up in the second half where he left off the first half.
Doss from the elbow has been kind of deadly, honestly.
It's been a bright spot. And you know, when your key player gets neutralized a little bit to this place, somebody else has to step up. And, you know, Dylan's a guy that, has already exceeded right where his average is at for the season, with still quite a bit of basketball still to be played.
Deep outside three from Alex Mole. And just as the first half went, only 2 threes to show for Roncalli. That is their 10th attempt.
Yeah, and you know, that didn't talk too much about this at the beginning. You know, one interesting stat is Wiggins gets a jumper, and he gets in the scoring column for the night. The Royals are a team that only average 5 free throws a game. That's tough, and it kind of shows in that case that they're not getting downhill as much to be able to force the defense or put themselves in a position to get more from the line. You'd like to be able to at least at the high school level be getting at least a dozen to 14 free throws a game as we get a 3 here by the Royals to drop.
Huge 3 ball. Couldn't tell the number. We'll get that to you in a second. Just an unreal type of play there. I mean, now it's going to be 25-14. Sitting pretty is Heritage Christian, but a nice 3 to build your confidence a bit.
This is where you got to get the high post. We're getting some ball screens here, and that's something that we haven't really talked much about either throughout the game. We really haven't seen a lot of ball screens. A little bit more from the Eagles than the Royals. Toughest thing in basketball is Doss gets a really nice pass inside here to Wiggins with a strong finish.
2 very confident plays in a row for Andrew Wiggins, both assisted by Doss.
And he's one that early on in the year he started some games, and Coach Wallace has been bringing him off the bench since. But a good-sized kid at being 6'4" and about 215, 220. So a large frame as you get a replay here on the 3 last possession by the Royals.
Alex Mole was that benefactor of that 3 off the good ball movement that we saw in the first half from Roncalli.
I talked about last possession with the Eagles. I really like to see both these teams, and all teams for that matter, work ball screens more. It's just the toughest thing in basketball to defend, and whether you're switching or trying to jump over and stay with your men. But hadn't really seen a lot of that tonight, not only on the ball but even off the ball. And I think the 2 times that we did see it, at least for Heritage, they were whistled for illegal screens on 2 different occasions. But things that you'd like to see more to get more player action.
Yeah, Heritage needed to be careful on this. A couple of those offensive fouls were definitely avoidable. Passing to no one except Miles Colvin. Dorsch chasing after it. He'll run up into the stands, but that'll be a turnover for Heritage on the opposite side.
Yeah, and great job there by Luke Carragus in the open court. You know, that's where Colvin really excels. That's his game. That's his athleticism. Really great job of just holding his ground at the elbow there and forcing Miles into a turnover where most teams will try to just man up on him, and he takes you to the basket. But great job by Luke.
Stewart up top. Heritage Christian now falling back into that zone that we saw at the beginning of the game. Into the high elbow. Outside, Kegris for 3. Almost thought he was going to get on the board there.
Yeah, I like the action, though.
Yeah.
Getting the ball inside, you're going to have the defense collapse, looking to get those kicks. Those are the type of threes that you like, not so much where you're off the dribble, where you can get those threes at any point of your possession. But having the defense collapse and defend you to get those open shots is really what you would like.
You know, I've always heard that you have to have that high post player to dish out like that. And I assuming that obviously they're doing the right thing because they got good ball movement, but is that the right strategy for Roncalli with a lot of size disadvantages?
I think, especially if Heritage continues to stay with this zone where it looks like that they are right now. But, yeah, you want to have your inside guy really look to hit the down as we got a three here by the Royals, starting to heat up a little bit for them.
Luke Kegris finally on the scorebook, his first three-pointer of the game.
Yeah, with 4 minutes to go. But, yeah, I think it's trying to get the ball in the high post area, and if the activity is so key as Colvin comes up short here. And if they don't, if you're not getting those, the interior passing, then what you'd like to see that inside the interior guys do is step out and get screens, whether it's pin screens off the ball or whether the screens on the ball, as we see Carragus's last three. And they need that. They need that for him to kind of get into the flow, really get some confidence in him. He's waited a long time to get that first basket.
Patient as ever, but his body language never really changed throughout the whole first half and through the second half so far.
No, and that's a great point, Joey, because, a lot of times, those guys that are getting the scoring and more of the bunches, sometimes you can see the head drop. They kind of get down and kind of press a little bit more, and he's one that has really illustrated some good poise tonight.
There's Stewart over to Leffler. Take it right back. Good ball movement from Roncalli. Spinning around. Nice pirouette shot by Nolan Tunney.
Yeah, really nice job there. Using a short game. Now, when you get scores, you got to get stops, and they were unsuccessful at that as we ended up getting a score. It looked like Broderick, was that?
It was Luke Peters, in fact. Yeah, great answer from Heritage Christian after the nice basket from Tunney. Tunney's got 6 now.
Yeah, not in a position where you can, trade baskets. You're down 10, still a decent amount of time left. But when you're in a position where you can get some scores to where they haven't came in bunches tonight,
right,
then you got to get stops on the other end. And what you really want to try to get is successive stops back to back.
These teams tied through this quarter. Rebound by Colvin after the long three miss. He's going to drive to the hoop. No dice, but nice cleanup by Luke Peters again.
Yep. Back-to-back scores for Luke.
No one boxing out for Roncalli. Gave Luke Peters that chance. And I think Heritage Christian has had a few offensive rebounds tonight. Now they're going to take a timeout. Coach wants.
Yeah, it looks like a 30-second, I believe.
Yeah, he's going to keep signal. He's going to keep it right here. Hey, follow us on Twitter, IndianaSRN. You can also find us on YouTube and on Facebook. If you'd like to contact us about an upcoming game you'd like us to webcast, please email us at coach@IndianaSRN.org. IndianaSRN, where you're always in the game. Also brought to you by IHSAA officials. Get involved in the game. Become an IHSAA official by contacting Sandra Walter, 317-846-6601. Stay in shape and make some extra cash. We have a couple announcers who double as IHSAA officials. Troy Darengowski, he's in the call with the coach for the North Putnam Cloverdale game, also on IndianaSRN family of networks. And those guys, I feel like they work together too often. They might get sick of each other. I know they like each other and all. They do the Basketball Weekly podcast. They're both officials. Well, Keith, former official. Now calling games together.
They're bunking together.
So you can hear the smooth, dulcet tones of Troy Darengowski, Radio Troy, and Basketball Weekly. All right, Roncalli. Leffler, swallowed by 2 defenders. He'll go to the line with a strong put up to the basket. That is the second foul on Nolan Duncan. And Heritage has 2 team fouls in this second half. 2.5 to play here on 75th Street. as Leffler knocks down his first.
Well, I think this is a focus here when you're in this type of situation and being down 11. It's going to be something you want to, again, as we talked about, trying to get it down to 5 before half is kind of what you want to try. 5 or 6 points maybe by the end of this quarter, and they can still be certainly in some good position. What you don't want is to get a little bit laxed and getting this to where it's a 15-point game or so going into the fourth.
Good rebound by Nolan Tunney. That foul was on Luke Peters, his first of the day. And Tunney tried to put it back up right away, but he'll get a foul on the ground, and this will be an inbound for Roncalli. Dumped inside. Leffler working against Wiggins. Outside. Tunney for 3. Rebound by Austin Snively.
Just have had, much of the lid on the basket tonight. Just has been an unfortunate night to this point in terms of shooting the ball from the outside. But, as the game progresses and those shots still continue not to fall as Colvin comes up short on his, then you got to look to try to do some different things, getting downhill, moving the ball inside, outside. There really hasn't been block presence tonight. And so you've got to look at more of the attack mode and working more of the short-range game when the deep ball's not falling.
Well, you look at all these guys. I mean, on our rosters that we were given, I mean, look at they got 7 guys above 6 feet, right? But compared to Heritage Christian that has only 2 guys under 6 feet, it can sometimes be
another 3.
Yep, Kagras knocks down that one, but I mean sometimes the size disadvantage doesn't play in your favor.
It
you can't
doesn't.
Always when you're having an off night shooting.
No, it's a very good point.
Foul on Kagras to follow it up. Doss was trying to corral that one. But that's a big 3 from Kagras. His second of the night, so he's got 6 total. Tied with Nolan Tunney, the lead scorers on the Roncalli side. There's Doss. Working against Caden Gore. Beg your pardon, that was Gabe Horn. Outside, baseline jumper, Andrew Wiggins has been shooting the ball confidently tonight.
He has. I mean, all of his has kind of come from outside, or at least 2 of his 3. I take that back. There was one. He had a post pass inside, but has shown some really good, nice touch from the outside. Yeah, really good recovery there. This really good job. I like that defensively right there by Snively. Did a good job on the ball. Didn't open his hips. A lot of times you'll see the guy retreat and really open up 90 degrees back to where he's just given the downhill attack. But did a good job of keeping his hips parallel, closing that out.
Snively to the rack. Hello.
And that's how you get rewarded right there, doing it on both ends of the floor.
Nifty play. Kagras to answer. Miles Colvin ripping that ball down for the rebound.
Yeah, and one that, again, with Luke there, it's probably a little quick, but it's also one that probably a little bit of frustration. It's been a tough night for him so far. Had a couple threes here in the second half, was he was scoreless in the first. But, those are the type of shots I was talking about earlier, where the type of threes you want is downhill attacks, collapsing the defense, getting kicks, as opposed to just coming down and pulling up, because those can be taken at any point in time by any player at any point of your possession.
And for the most part, he's kept his cool so far. Strength of this Roncalli squad is their youth, honestly, and they've been sort of struggling to find that leadership presence tonight. But at the same time, you're hanging around with Heritage. Only down 12. Mason Kay underneath. Dishing out to Dylan Doss, who elects to go to the rack, and it falls in.
Yeah, good job there. And a lot of times you see big guys down there. You'd like when Mason caught that down low. A lot of times you like to see him go up with that, but he felt 2, and then the presence of 2, kicked that out to Dylan with a good downhill attack to get the finish at the rack.
Nothing doing to finish out that quarter. This is going to be a foul.
Yeah, I think
on the ground. I think it'll carry over into the fourth. At the end of 3, Heritage Christian leads Roncalli 37-23. Don't go anywhere. Fourth quarter action coming up here on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that fuels your passion for sports and physical activity. IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences offers that and more. You'll have insider access to sports, fitness, and exercise science professionals and learn from faculty with years of industry experience. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll study next to world-class sports facilities, Olympic governing bodies, the NCAA, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sports industry career. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to Heritage Christian. Well, shooting is Caden Gore at the line. He missed that first one. He makes the second.
Takes him to 5 for the game.
And while the officials deliberate, this sounds like a great time to tell you we're brought to you by Serenity Care Services, an Indiana licensed service agency, the friendly, experienced team of caregivers you've been seeking. Call Angela today at 317-900-6202. Serenity Care Services, serving Indianapolis and the 5 surrounding areas. It looks like this is going to be an extended timeout. We'll take a 30-second break here.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Welcome back to Heritage Christian. Dylan Dawson Eagles are going to get us started here in the fourth quarter as we move along. Outside, Mason Kay to Snively. Again, Kay, deep corner. Rebound by Wiggins. Put back. Little long, and that's going to be rebounded by Nolan Tunney. Baseline. And that one's going to be missed. Mason Kay rips down that board. That's going to be a foul on Caden Gore.
And again, we saw a good portion of this in the third quarter, which I'd like to see it a little different. And then you saw it here in the first possession here with the Royals here. It's almost like they're taking the first a shot that they come to that they like, and they got a little bit of deficit here to work, but really like to see them make some extra passes because some of these shots, again, that they've been taking here of late has been ones that they can get throughout a possession. So really not making the Eagles defense think much or even defend much at that.
Heritage Christian definitely challenging a lot of what Roncalli did well against Chittard, where Roncalli won that game 58-53.
And it's the first time throughout the evening that we've seen the Royals kind of add some pressure and some trapping at that.
Yeah, I agree. I think they've been able to apply a little bit of pressure, but nothing that Heritage has ever really blinked at. That time, it felt like Miles Colvin trying to split those two defenders was going to be trouble for Heritage, and it could have been Roncalli going the other way, but they get the foul on Kegris. That's actually his 4th foul, and you could see Coach Michael Wantz arguing for his player. Michael Wantz, 271 and 170 in his 20th season. Last year, Roncalli struggled a bit, 8-14. They lost in the sectional to Southport. this year, they've been shooting much better than the last. 42% from the field, 32% from three.
Full court pressure or three-quarter court pressure here again. And they're going to get the same type of foul that they just got on Colvin here with Doss.
Yep. Looks like that one is on Alex Mull, his first.
A position where we're already in the bonus.
Yep.
At the start, so could
have
be
been
a
quick
long
too,
quarter.
because I don't think Roncalli had more than one foul for about 6 minutes in that third quarter.
Yeah, they've gotten 3 in 51 seconds.
Well, here come the Royals, dishing out. Long ball 3 goes for Gabe Horn.
Yeah,
his second of the game.
Now we're seeing more of that pressure, trying to get them forced into a turnover.
Deep 3 answer from Miles Colvin. And that's what your playmaker does. He's been quiet in the second half. Now he's on the board again.
Yeah, it's his first basket since about 4 minutes into the first quarter.
Right.
The second
Came
quarter,
on the brigade.
He went scoreless in the second quarter and third, which is that's be credited to the Royals defense.
Well, it's going to be a timeout for the Heritage side. Warren Wallace, his team up by 13, but he's going to talk some shop. We'll be right back here on IndianaSRN.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
Coming out of the timeout, Heritage Christian leads 40-27 in a sort of a dominating fashion. Roncalli wasn't able to get anything going in the first quarter rather. Started to get a semblance of offense, but since then it's been kind of just trouble overall, kind of shooting themselves in the foot a little bit for Roncalli, Craig.
Yeah, and they've Heritage has had a good job of getting some support players coming off the bench. Their bench scoring tonight has been good. They've kind of picked up a little bit of the slack of some lost production or scoring, if you will, from Colvin. This is going to have to be things that the Royals are kind of, again, finding these seams and moving this ball is how you're going to obviously break down this zone.
Working it outside, back out to Gabe Horn from 3. That one's short, rebound by Doss. Dylan Doss has been excellent tonight. He's got 12 points so far. And I marked him for 4 assists. That foul there by Gabe Horn off the rebound, and Dylan Doss will go shoot.
Yeah, we're in for a long quarter. From a standpoint of being in the bonus this early and not too far from the double bonus as well as Doss goes here for the bonus.
This Heritage Christian squad is 4th in sectional 42. That's the Park Tudor sectional. Right now as the standings go, University High School in Carmel 4-0 in that sectional. Park Tudor 2-0. Covenant Christian 3-1. Heritage Christian 1-3. Cecina 1-5, and Irvington Prep 0-1. So they not quite reaching a bye at this point unless they play some teams in their sectional coming up.
Yeah, it's a solid sectional.
It is.
As we talked about at the top of the hour, it's probably one of the best 2A ones that we have in the city.
Colvin, flush. Oh, and it rims out all the way to the top of the backboard and down. I actually thought maybe it was going to go in the hoop on the downturn.
Yeah, no, that's part of it. He's an electrifying player and one that loves the open court. He's an exciting young man. Still, Coach Wallace has him for another year. He's only a junior.
Right.
So we only anticipate even greater things for him. And, you get those opportunities like those to go down. But,
of course, he committed to Purdue, where his father played football, and his sister is currently a freshman on the volleyball team there for the Boilermakers.
Yeah, this is where, the middle of the court is just empty. Got to work guys on ball side elbows here, and then kind of look at some X cuts. You don't get it, you drop your guy from the elbow down to the block, bring your weak side wing guy to flash. There's just got to be some more action in the middle of the court because, as we mentioned, Heritage came out at the beginning of the game and was in this 3-2. They're looking to extend you. So the higher they are, you got to neutralize that by working in the middle of the floor.
And we saw a lot of that in the first half. We really did. I mean, their ball movement was excellent, but kind of since then maybe it's a little bit of fatigue setting in and just getting tired.
Yeah, and it's now to the point where still time, but as we talked about late there in the third quarter, it gets to 15, and this game continues to go. It just doesn't play in their favor.
We'll certainly try to figure it out as they go. That foul on Tyler Allemeyer. And that will send Nolan Tunney to the line. He's tied with Luke Kegris, 6 points tonight. Kegris, of course, on the bench. He's got 4 fouls.
I believe this is Tunney's first trip to the stripe, I believe, tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
It sure is. He nails the first. Tunney, a 64% free throw shooter.
And again, they're a team, as we mentioned, that doesn't get to the line a lot. They're averaging about 5-6 attempts a game. But so when you get there, it's okay if you're not getting there much. But if you're not, you got to be very efficient with it as they go 2 for 2 here.
Now in the real full court press, Doss over to Colvin. They get it across the timeline. Colvin, spin move. Nice work to get that one under. A little bit of jelly there for Miles Colvin.
Yeah, tough move. Really found the guy with the spin move as we get a 3 coming up off here.
Hard foul on the way up.
Looks like they're going to get him for a travel.
Yep, they are. That was
Mole.
Alex Mole.
Yeah, Fowler, good job. He's shooting the 3, got his own rebound, attacked the basket, but got a few little extra dance steps in. This is where you want to draw to. What you don't want to do is what Dylan just did there, and that is pick your dribble up. Especially that deep.
Underneath, Wiggins, he's got 8.
Yeah, really good job there by going to the defense, committing, and then getting a little dump pass for Andrew to get that easy finish.
Talk about a guy who's taking advantage of his opportunities tonight. Andrew Wiggins is 4 for 4 from the field. Long ball does not go. Miles Colvin up to Wiggins. Spin move. Found him space, and he lays it in. 5 for 5, Andrew Wiggins. I believe this could be tied for or might be his season high. As Roncalli takes that timeout. Take a minute to remind you we're brought to you by IHSAA Foundation. Subscribe to our newsletter, The Advocate, at IHSAAfoundation.org. Thanks to the IHSAA Foundation for what they're doing for our student athletes. Also brought to you by our post-game sponsor, Family Source Insurance. We have you covered. Auto, home, life, or business. Call Pat Cherry to get a quote today at 317-884-8046. Look to Family Source Insurance for all your needs. Email at FamilySourceInsurance.com.
Well, Joey, we're just a few short days away, about 9 before the sectional draw. We mentioned earlier also in that, when you get to, the state of Indiana, everyone's qualifying, for postseason play, unlike some states. And, we're 9 days away from the sectional draw. You want to get to February, regardless of who you are as a program, and be playing your best ball.
Right.
These teams are obviously, tonight's game as we're broadcasting here, tonight is a conference game, so these young men are playing for something even more than just a regular season game, but also a conference, a title at stake, if you will. But we're coming down to the end of the pipe, to where we're heading to sectional play, which gets really exciting, and the popcorn even smells better in the gym.
That's right. And the sectional for Roncalli is equally, if not more tough than the sectional for Heritage. But Roncalli is 2-0 in that sectional right now, followed by Perry Meridian, Ben Davis, Pike, as that ball goes short off the iron.
Yeah, you got
then Southport, Decatur Central, Perry Meridian. It's stack group.
It's a big boy. Heritage is a 2A team. Roncalli's a 4A team, largest division. There's 4 classes in basketball, 6 in football, and it's a big one with Ben Davis, Pike, and then a lot of the 4A Southside schools, as you mentioned, with Southport, Perry, and Decatur. Right. But tough. And Roncalli, even though they're 2-0 against sectional opponents, those are against Perry and Decatur Central. They haven't played Ben Davis or
both
Pike.
Bottom of the sectional right now. Yep.
Colvin drops his first one here.
So Roncalli will move on to play at Guerin Catholic next week, followed by Franklin Central and Brebeuf. So really, as long as the other teams in their sectionals lose, then they're sitting pretty with possible bye.
Yeah, no, it would certainly play to their favor. And, you got the Eagles will finish up with Bethesda, 1A team, and then Brebeuf, Warren, and Shortridge.
Kegris is back out there, dishing underneath and getting into his teammate. Nice finish underneath by.
Was that?
I believe that is
Hedge?
Jack Moore. Oh, what a nifty play to get up there.
And Peters there on that side.
Yeah, Luke Peters, another opportunistic player, hasn't missed from the field tonight.
Yeah, it was Hedgewood, that last Michael Hedgewood.
Thank you, Hedgewood. Good take there by Gabe Horn, but it's going to be all for naught. See if the pace of this game picks up a little bit. Heritage has been excellent tonight.
Yeah, it's they've done a really good job of neutralizing, getting the stops when they've needed to, and it's just been a really, really tough shooting night for the Royals and for Coach Wantz. Right out the gate, just couldn't ever recover from it, and the Eagles have done a good job really keeping their leading scorer, Kegris. He's 6 points, got him more later here in the fourth. And just hadn't had the supporting cast.
Agwood will go to the line. Other games and events coming up this weekend on IndianaSRN. Tomorrow, the IHSAA swimming is an all-day affair on IndianaSRN. You can catch us there. We also have girls basketball regionals. Games 1 and 2 at Decatur Central. They'll have Troy Darengowski and the coach on the call there, as well as Jimmy Cook and Jarrett Lewis. And for the regional championship tomorrow evening, you'll have Jerry Baker and Sean Kroll.
Higwood gets them both to drop here, 2 for 2.
Did his job. He went ahead and got himself a quick 4.
Another timeout here by the Royals.
And we will take one with them. You're watching boys basketball on IndianaSRN. Do not go anywhere.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Welcome back to Heritage Christian High School. Joey Lindstrom alongside Craig Cox. And Heritage Christian, up by 20 now, has really run away with it. And so far, it has been due to large part of the efforts of their star players, Miles Colvin and Dylan Doss. Stick around after our game. We'll talk about our upcoming schedule for next week on Indiana SRN, as well as get our Family Source Insurance Player of the Game, as determined by our analyst, Craig Cox. We have a myriad of players to choose from, Craig.
Yeah,
as
really,
Dorsch takes that one to the rack.
Yeah,
and
really
out.
Nice job getting downhill and strong move. Just couldn't quite get it to finish, but I love the attack mode of him.
Getting up and getting that foul, going to the line. Michael Gallagher. Gallagher's first free throw attempts of the season coming up right here. Always good to get time. And he makes his first.
Yeah, I think Coach Wantz had put in a few other subs, and certainly not waving the white flag by any means, but I think he knows the game's a little bit out of reach and given some guys that otherwise wouldn't get the playing time that they are, and never know when you might need them, so you can't ever substitute court time, as we also have Xavier Highball, who's come into the game for the Royals also.
Deep three from Dorsch in the corner. That's going to be a foul on Luke Peters. I think he just got tied up there with Gabe Horn. Whoa, that's actually going to be a foul on Gabe Horn? Okay, never mind. There we go. Got it settled. Thank you for deliberating, officials. And he actually got tied up with Michael Gallagher, who will go to the line again. So coming in and shooting 0 free throws. Now he's got his guaranteed third and fourth. Because we're in double now. Nails his first. Now he's got 2. Well, as the Circle City stands right now, Roncalli will fall to 3-1 in conference. Brebeuf 2-1 in second place. Third place is Chittard right now at 3-2. Guerin Catholic at 2-2. Heritage Christian will fly to 2-2, and Covenant sits at 1-4. Ought to make things interesting headed into the tail end of this season. Heritage is going to play Bethesda Christian next, followed by Brebeuf. That'll be their final Circle City Conference game. And Roncalli will finish their Circle City Conference play with Guerin Catholic, and then Franklin Central non-conference, and then Brebeuf Jesuit to round out Circle City. Dorsch nails his second. Puts Heritage at 55, and we have a timeout. Probably a high time for Coach to get his guys in the right mindset, I guess, right, to finish the game.
Yeah, I guess.
You've got a lot of guys. I mean, just to brush on the stat line right now, Dylan Doss with 12, Miles Colvin with 14, Nolan Duncan with 4. Andrew Wiggins, a perfect 5 of 5 from the field. He finishes with 10. Luke Peters with 6. Austin Snively 4. On the Roncalli side right now, Hagwood with 4. Kegris with 6. Nolan Tunney with 8. And several others spread around there with slightly less points.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's been a good bench night for Heritage. You've had somewhat of the balance scoring off Roncalli side outside of Carragus. who's again struggled a little bit tonight, and those nights are going to come. Good thing is there's still play to take place, and they're still alive as far as for conference play in that title as well.
Well, Luke Kegris will pass the torch on to his brother Drew to take these free throws as Drew knocks it down. Normally plays a lot of time on JV. Heck, I hope he had his Gatorade and water. His legs aren't cramping still.
Yeah, it's just a sophomore. It's his second here as well.
Nice job by Drew stepping in there. Good to get some varsity experience with a minute to go. Dorsch on the side. Back over to Peters. Dumps it off to Carter Klopfenstein, excuse me.
And these are the times, too, when you have your substitutes in here. You know, as coaches, you want your kids to still stay with the plan, play to the culture, do what you do, and not get loose and get so anxious that, you know, you're in the game. Some of these, young men, as you just mentioned, might be getting more JV time than the varsity time. And so that's probably what a lot of the timeout was that Coach Wantz just said, and I'm sure what Coach Wallace talked to his subs in there too, is, systematically continue to do what we do.
Keegan Broderick hits his first. Roncalli is advancing the ball with 30 seconds to go here. Top of the key. Shot fake by Michael Gallagher. Nice dribble drive, and he's got 4. And Heritage is going to go ahead and win this one 54-37, barring any other extra points here towards the end, and to kick off Super Bowl weekend. Eagles beating the Royals to take their second win in the Circle City Conference. Roncalli takes their first loss in the Circle City Conference. Heritage takes care of business 54-39. Do not go anywhere. When we come back, we'll talk upcoming schedule for our Family Source Insurance post-game show, as well as our player of the game by none other than our analyst, Craig Cox. Do not go anywhere. You're watching boys basketball on IndianaSRN.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
Tell you a bright spot too.
Heritage Christian wins it 54-37. Joey Lindstrom alongside Craig Cox. We're going to take a look at our upcoming schedule here on Indiana SRN. Next week, Tuesday, you'll get to see this same Roncalli squad take on Circle City opponent Bishop Chatard. And they'll also have a slew of games, including Cloverdale against Greencastle. That one is a Putnam County classic. Finally, North Putnam versus South Putnam. And that'll round out our schedule. We also have Bethesda Christian at Heritage Christian, Cathedral at Chatard, and Cascade at Greencastle as well, along with Chatard and Ritter. So we'll get to see this Ritter squad again soon. Don't go anywhere. Craig Cox has to reveal his player of the game. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Welcome back to the Family Source Insurance post-game show. Joey Lindstrom alongside our analyst Craig Cox. We are here to award the MVP of tonight's game. Craig, who do you got?
Dylan Doss. I think that he did a great job in just being the floor general tonight. Scored really well, too. Ended up with 13, but did a great job. Kind of held true to who he is in terms of his good assist-to-turnover ratio. Did a great job of keeping his mistakes low and playing at a very high level for his Eagles tonight in the win.
The Eagles took care of business 54-39 against a tough Roncalli squad who just came off a big win against Chittard. Eagles take care of business. Thank you so much for being with us. For Casey Pierce, for our cameraman Mike Aware, I'm Joey Lindstrom, and for Craig Cox, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Heritage Christian takes care of business 54-39. We'll see you again soon on Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.